to the toilet? Does God go to the toilet? I don't know, no, 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 no. I don't know, no, 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 yeah.
Prologue. Creation. Not so much out of the blue as once upon a time there was a pile of brown, and out of that brown grew pips and seeds, and worms crawled from out of that brown, and life flourished and multiplied, and pips and seeds grew into plants and trees and bore fruit which was eaten by worm kind, and worms grew wings or fins or arms and legs and grew into animal kind, and creatures walked the earth, and fish swam in the seas, and birds flew in between trees. That's how we came to be. And pips and seeds were returned to the earth, along with a generous helping of brown, and life continued to grow and flourish from brown to green, from green to brown, like the seasons was, regenerating, always regenerating. The earth was everybody's home, every being was free to grow and roam. Their roots were everywhere, and everything all dependent on each other for existing.
Full of catalog, big happy family, web of destiny.
Chap 1. Man Ugga Ugga freaks out.
Man grabbed hold of the wrong end of the branch, and it snapped. Man was fallen down to the ground, to the brown. He felt a right dick lying in the dirt on the ground. From that day on, he wreaked a vengeance upon the brown.
The tree of knowledge has been cut down, torn from the ground, made into defenses and paper money his own roots. Man severs Mother Earth, dismembered distance from her. He cannot hope to live by consumption alone. He built himself a void. Man and the garden are both destroyed in his attempt to fill the void.
mummy, mummy. I got a pain in my tummy, and it's hurting me. I'm well and truly shattered by it all, stained and scarred and brutalized just by day-to-day living. But the comic tragic magic is I'm not dead yet, I'm not fully submerged, I still got some life in me yet. My mummy, 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 my mummy, mummy, my mummy, 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 I'm gonna stand by her. 'Cause the world was in a mess when I first took my head out. It's still in a mess, but I can see for myself now. So I've got to dash, I've got to get my shit together, keep things moving, make myself useful. My mummy, 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 my mummy, mummy, my mummy, 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 I hear her calling me. I'm out in the country for a walk one day. I get the urge and I've got to go. I look around, I make sure no one's around. I pull my pants down and I face the ground. I think, well, we all go to the toilet, just like we got to eat. We don't eat, it's called starvation. We don't bother constipation. It doesn't matter how rich or poor we are, doesn't matter what sex or species we are, doesn't matter which nation we associate, doesn't matter what politics we love or hate, we've still got to go to the toilet. There's no way of getting round this, I'm afraid, so we're all busy going to the toilet, but not on television. We've all got to do the toilet one, but never on television. We're all lay people when it comes to the brown. We're all at one with each other, 'cause somewhere in between the black and white, there's us just sitting or squatting, laying down the brown. Chap 2. Guess who? Manfred the Great. The great king bashed down his goblet on the oaken table, as kings do when they want more wine. Everyone was silent.
Minstrel, the noise of chattering women grates on my ears. Play me some music.
He bellowed.
A fairy tale handed down, I believed it, didn't we all?
A man, the hero, walks onto the scene, unquestionably good at everything. First he does battle with various creatures which compared to his goodness are evil monsters. Half-winged dragons extinct forever. He murders a couple of the castle gods. He enters the castle quite unnoticed and tells the girl he'll be back for her.
I shall make her mine forever.
The comes into trouble and is taken prisoner. Is taken to the big bad baddie. Baddie tells hero how goodness is finished and has him trapped up to a sole death device. But he escapes as the rope starts to burn through. That blade crashes down on the block where his head was with a sword from the wall. He finishes the castle, but a lamp gets knocked over in the panic. A fire starts a race against time to rescue the princess, to get past the party, to get out of the castle, out of the window where the horses are waiting. The couple ride off and the whole place goes off in flames. But it's shit, we don't see it though we watch it on the telly. Every day we give our heroes license to kill in reality, just like on TV. And we wish we were in issues, cause he gets all the girls, treats them as property. property. A pile of shit, we don't see it, though we watch it on the telly.
It's the Holocaust.
Every day, that's an electrode in our front room's a house plan. Bumping in signals, only 5 feet removed from being an implant. I see inside our heads, how often do we leave it switched on? Channel S20, how often do we sit there switched off, staring at it blindly? Jane's dad closed the book. Not another peep out of you tonight, he whispered. It's not fair, thought Jane. Why is it always the boys who get to do the exciting things? See who's over there in the corner. Little Jack Horner sat in a corner. I say, why did Jack Horner sit in the corner? Story goes, it's 'cause he had square bum. Well, I'm telling you, that's not absolutely true. He was told to sit there by his teacher. Jack's crime was this, he said, teacher, you are wrong. The British Army killed a lot of people too. The empire's built on the broken backs and the stolen land of all them blacks, all paid for out of your income tax. She said, I won't stand for that. Don't give me your back, Jack. Then Master will surely hear of this. She said, don't speak till he's spoken to. I'll tell you what you're gonna do. Now go sit in that corner till I get back. Jack was all alone, struggling on his own. But when the head walked in, the children made such a din. They said, Jack, get up, you've got to get out. Don't let them push you about, you know, to keep you in that corner till you're dead. Jack, get out, don't sell out, don't compromise with the Christmas past, you know, to keep you in that corner till you're dead. Keep shouting back, you tell them, Jack, don't swallow none of their crap, you know, to keep you in that corner till you're dead. Calling Jack Horners everywhere, don't bend to authority, doesn't care, you know, to keep you in that corner till you're dead. Jane got up, she helped Jack out, she said, teachers, don't mess us about, we won't listen to your dirty lies. It's you who've got your fingers in the pie. People die, don't question why. We won't study your lies. We won't eat your Christmas pie. We won't eat dead animal pie. We won't eat nuclear pie. We won't eat your pie all squared. And if you really can, neither would you. Chopped a tree. The Garden of Eden is finished.
When I say mankind, I use it as a derogatory term, whereas scientists and governments use it as a saving grace. Well, I once saw Michael Edelstein on the telly whilst he was still Environment Secretary, and it was a UN debate called The State of the Planet 10 years on. 10 years on since the last debate, he's there saying, look folks, don't worry, everything's under control. The rate of progress is faster than the rate of decline, as if that made everything okay. A man who is older than me with factories in South Africa says,
That's the way of the world. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't change it, so you might as well enjoy it whilst you still can. Well, that's what I always say, anyway. Yeah. And remember that. That's a damn good outlook on life. I've come a long way, I have. I have indeed. In fact, you could say I'm a shining example. The dirty kid come good. Have a cigar.
He must be right because he's got more experience than me. Yeah, he's got a dream, better ways of destroying the earth, better ways of ceasing to be. Even if we forget about nuclear war, just for a minute, only for a minute. See, he's cutting all the trees down, the atmosphere is breaking down, the rain cycle's collapsing, acid rain destroying our land. Forests is being cut down at the rate of an area the size of France every year. All countries of fertile land are being turned into desert. Ask him about it, see what he's got to say for himself, just ask him about it, see what he's got to say.
What's it for? it work. Make it work my while. Make it work my while. Maybe then I'll think about it.
You can turn your back when you pay for your crack. You can turn both cheeks, you can deodorant. You can wash your hands with it when you have been, but you don't fool us with your Mr. Clean. We got the brown on our hands. It's Mama Nature's land. We got the brown in our glands. Yeah, Mama Nature land. Hey, Manfred, listen to me. Come on, listen to me, man. Inside, we're all brown in there somewhere. We've all got the biz, so quit holding back. No matter who you are, your brain still smells. Let it out, man. Come on, it's your soul, it's your soil. As long as there is brown, we'll be sticking round. But take away the brown, and then we start going down, 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 going down. And so, in the tradition of Manfred the Great, the people built the glorious vision in his name. Great Britain, they called it, a land fit for heroes, a land where no one was starving, a paradise, the Garden of Eden, the Garden of Eden, level to the ground and concreted over, rebuilt from scratch with ICI man-made fibers. They made their paradise out of plastic, and it's showing through their plastic sticky back, sellotape, super glue, the paper money and the patched up lies, the cover up jobs, the fact they try to hide that all the king's horses and all the king's men will never stick our world together again, with the plastic sticky back, red tape lies and the paper money they exchange for our lives. Think about it, our world, all the ecological catastrophes, they're happening all at once at the same time now. Mankind to the rescue, I ask you to him, tomorrow's just another fucking day, fucking up the earth, filling his fat silver-lined pockets full. So please listen, dear people kind, see the reason that mankind won't save our earth, it's 'cause there's no money in it for him, it's not worth his while. It's up to us, it's up to us, it's up to us, each and every one of us. Chapter 10. Fighting. Cease. Nazarene, El Fable, last of the wizards living in his last retreat, living in the retreating rainforest of Dalamandia, Africa, Dalamandia, Africa, Dalamandia, Africa. If we are to believe Forestry Corporation, Nazarene was typical pessimism stick, stuck in mud. What a piece of give his opinion mind when asked.
Listen, Pete. I'm not your wizard. Your wizards, magicians and kings live out there. Bank managers, bureaucrats and generals. Look around you. See what they do to the forest. We have ourselves, Pete, and each other. And that's all. This earth belongs to us as to everyone. And it's up to us to stand our ground like the giant mahogany where our roots draw most strength. The forest needs me, Pete. I cannot come with you. Return to Scarcity, and there you will find the monolith where man and his kind worships. Only you can know what to do. Share your knowledge. You'll find a way. People kind be with you. Farewell.
Listen, Pete, don't you worry. People kind be with you all the way. I say farewell now, people, okay. If we hurry, we might just save our day. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. Tell them love from people kind. Give them a piece of your peace of mind. But governments of the world agree that people need bombs and banks and barriers, harriers, tanks and aircraft carriers to carry us to war, to drop it at my front door. But if no one pulled the trigger, then no one would get shot. If no one made the bombs, no one would get blown up. If nobody believed in stinking countries, there wouldn't be any territories to fight over. If nobody held money as sacred, there'd be food for all, not just for those who can afford it. And if nobody voted for a government, they wouldn't have the right to make people fight. But first they treat us like we're nobody, no one, then it's join Britain's fight. Be someone bomb someone, but dead we're no more than just on the floor of the next generation who are marching us to war. But no more war, we won't go away. 'Cause no more war, it's something we've got to say. No more war, we can try to make the fighting cease. No more war, advertise for peace. No more war, I know it's easier said than done, but we can make a start by declaring peace. No more war, look, I know it's easier said than done, but we can make a start by declaring peace. By declaring peace.
Just remember, in 1982 when the Falklands War was happening, the New Musical Express didn't say a word about it.
Chapter 7. There's bugs on the houseplants of the folks back home.
Insects and bacteria, they are not inferior. Insects and bacteria, they are not inferior. What do we want? Insect liberation.
Insects are dirty, insects are filthy. They never bother washing their legs or faces. Insects are ugly, insects are evil. They sniff around the brown and then they eat it. An insect loses its way one day and gets trapped in the house. An insect in the house, but not in this month's issue of Wonderful Home. Fly spray or a stinky thing hanging from the ceiling. A rolled up newspaper on the head, the poor insect ends up dead. But insects are dirty, insects are filthy. They never bother washing their legs or faces. Insects are ugly, insects are evil. They sniff around the brown and then they eat it.
But it's shit, and they're walking on it.
They fly around from town to town, spreading disease. They're ugly little monsters and I hate them. Won't you get rid of them for me, please? Because who likes the taste? Who makes use of our waste? Who puts the goodness back into the soil? It's insects, bacteria, germs and worms. But we spread more disease than all of the insects by carrying our shit, then spreading it by contact. When we shit on people, we get shit on in return. So we put out more shit, we think we've nothing left to learn. We keep on spreading more disease.
And after the people had built scarcity, buying the food mansions, the advertising men moved into the bush concrete drawing offices and started juggling around with ideas. And they came up with a concept, and the concept was this: need is an anagram of Eden. So they marketed need, shit for every occasion, replacing our real needs with a craving for the purified packaged shit. Waste product. Waste became the product.
Coca-Cola is sold 250 million times a day in 145 different countries. They can ship shit anywhere they want, when they want, anywhere, anytime. They can ship it. Yet 18 million children starved to death last year. They can't ship food because it's not fucking profitable.
The blank sheet coverage we get on TV sells a paradise. Bye 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 it. They steal our lives and sell them back to us as one big happy contraceptive pill popping party. Based on the Ant-Man's philosophy that total self-indulgence equals total freedom. Total self-indulgence equals total freedom. Like freedom from involvement, freedom from concern, freedom from responsibility, freedom from love, freedom from love, freedom from love, freedom from love. Everybody's looking for a one-way system, as if there's only one way out of this prison. Everybody's looking for that one piece of wisdom, as if there's just one answer to all of our problems. And the biggest one way of all the one-ways, the central circulating shit, is M-O-N-E-Y-O-Y. Why, oh, why, oh, my, oh, mine, oh, mine.
Make it mine, 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 make it mine, make it mine, make it worth my while, and I'll see what I can do, make it worth my while, and I'll see what I can do.
Like on his plantations in ex-colonial Governorland, where empire made had given way with the years to the more subtle multinational approach.
Now look, first we forget the tweaky beans and scrap these little plots here, and we can take a road right through and start planting sugarcane all the way up that hillside.
But what are we gonna eat, boss?
You'll think of something. I mean, when we cut that forest down there, within a year or two, we can double the size of the plantation.
But we can't just live off sugar, Daddy.
Of course you can. I mean, back home where I come from, the folks live off the stuff.
Boss, we can't afford Coca-Cola. Never mind all this fancy processing biz.
Well, no, look. Think of it as an investment. Cash crops, you see? You grow the sugar, we send it to the folks back home, who come up with the Reddit, and we give you some bread on the deal.
Well, boss, there's people starving to death out here.
Well, between me and you, nigger boy, there's too many of them anyway.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Martini people are happy people. They always smile because they're getting paid to sing and dance and have parties in the south of France. Wouldn't you do the same if you got the chance? Uncork the speedboat from the bottle and be whisked away from reality to data package dreamland UK. From the TV screen to the Sunday magazine, fancy cigarette packets, dead animal jackets from the big flashy car which runs on British petroleum, from BP's investments in Australia in uranium.
Dinner is served.
Raw materials are running out, there'll be no more tungsten to put in light bulbs, because the light bulb companies used it up, making light bulbs which run out instead of making ones which last for years. You know they got the know-how, they do the same with cars so they can sell and keep selling well. But by then there'll be no more cars, no more coal, no electricity, because those in power got this ultimate power, one-way power, nuclear power, chain reacting, accumulating illness. But their cure is killing us. The only question's asked, how much does it cost, how much can we make? How much does it cost and how much can we make? Well, you get big grants from the government. It's a good investment. I mean, you can't touch the stuff really. Once you're in, it lasts forever. So, how much does it cost? How much can we make it cost? The earth can't see, can't see radioactivity, can't hear radioactivity, can't smell radioactivity. It just kills you. Chap 9, I'm a God man. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. But how do kings and presidents, prime ministers and generals and company chairmen sleep at night? How do they shut their eyes when they turn out the lights? Turn out the lights for the people they're shitting on. Turn out the lights for the people they're torturing. Turn out the lights for the people they're poisoning. Turn out the lights for the people they're starving. Turn out the lights for the people they're murdering. They got two big secrets, one up each sleeve. First they believe that they're doing God's work, and that's the lie, that they can lie down with cause it's seconded by the people they govern, cause the people they govern will work for them, buy from them and die for them, and the people they govern will vote for them, and the people they govern do their sleeping for them, do their sleeping for them, do their sleeping for them, do their sleeping for them,
too many motion pictures when he was younger. And he's round at God's place for me.
The table before Ronnie in the presence of Ronnie's enemies. God anointeth Ronnie's head with oil. Ronnie's cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy.
And Psalm is an anagram of
shall
napalm.
follow Ron. Wake up, we must wake up. We must wake up. We must wake up. There isn't any light at the end of the tunnel. Open your eyes, go and have a look. There isn't any light at the end of the tunnel. If you open your eyes, you might get a surprise. It's all around staring you in the face. Open your work, it's saying wake up. Wake up, it's saying wake up. Wake up, wake up. It gets worse. The Earth, if looked after properly, has an estimated lifespan of another 4 billion years. But in 1983, there were 2 false alarms of impending nuclear war every 3 days. They say that such alarms are normal and present no problem, provided they can be identified as false alarms. I said in 1983 there were 2 false alarms of impending nuclear war every 3 days. But in times of crisis with weapon systems already on the alert, there is less than 8 minutes to decide whether an attack is underway or not. And there's over 40 conventional wars going on in the world today, times of crisis you might say. They say that waiting longer than 8 minutes would risk a surprise attack and a loss of command and control. In the trade this is called the use them or lose them problem, which translated means if he's going to hit you, make sure you hit him first. Looking at it another way, a single American strategic submarine carries about 160 warheads, enough to eliminate every Soviet city of over 200,000 people. Of course, a Soviet submarine could do the same to America. The nuclear weapons powers operate about 100 such submarines, and on average there are over 40 at sea at any one time. A conspiracy of 2 men, the submarine commander and his radio man, could pretend to have received orders from above and launch a nuclear missile without actually having received those orders. In 1983, there were 2 false alarms of impending nuclear war every 3 days. In 1983, Thatcher was re-elected by her sleeping people. In 1984, Reagan was re-elected by his sleeping people. In 1985...
To determine their own destiny. Let us move toward a world in which all people are at last free to determine their own destiny. Let us move toward a world in which all people...
For someone to drop that bomb, somebody else must do research to enable the design of such dirty body else must invest in manufacturing all those dirty fucking stinking body else must obey without question the instructions to construct that deadly body else must transport it, take the bomb from the factory to the marketplace. Must engender filthy attitude which make making bombs acceptable. Must go to work to pay income tax so that governments can afford to buy bombs. Somebody else, could it be you? Think about what you're doing for who? Somebody else, could it be you? Think about what you're doing to who? Give and take, give up your job, take some time today, because the world needs you. Chap age 23, some pieces of my mind. I can be so happy just lying down, back to the brand, looking up at the stars on a clear summer's night. I can think, wow, well I don't even have to think it, I just feel it. But I can be sad, so fucking sad, lying on my side on my bed, staring in space. And I can think, what a hassle, what a bastard, what a long shit life is. Life is wonderful, so intricate yet simple, it truly amazes me how people like me confuse and abuse it when really it's so precious to me. But I hold on to dear life to my fears as much as I do my hopes. I get bogged down and I disappear, and for this I just can't see very clear. A wise owl once said to me, life is and that is all there is to it, to it, that's all there is to it, you twitch. And so my life goes on and on and on and on. so precious to me. And that's the way it is, and that's the why I'm here. And it's worth shouting about, and this is how it sounds. And it's as simple as this: I just want to be loved, same as anybody else. I just want to be loved. But I don't know you and you don't know me. I mean, I think I know we're bound to disagree. So I still don't know you, you still don't know me. But now we both agree that we disagree, 'cause that's the one thing in common we've got. You see, it's that we both disagree. So between us we can double our protest, you see, because we both disagree. And we've got to find many ways as we can find saying no to the ways of governments and multinational companies. We've got to find as many ways as we can find saying no to the ways of governments and multinational companies. Yeah, got to find as many ways as we can find saying no to the ways of governments and multinational murdering bastards. Got to find as many ways as we can find saying no to the ways of governments. M spells man, K spells kind. Could somebody tell me, is mankind saying gotta say goodbye now, gotta say goodbye to Mother Earth? I mean, how could I ever say that to her? She's my mother, and I love her, there's no other. Mother Earth, Mother Earth. I used to watch with Mother. I grew up with her. Now I'm grown up, I stand on my own 2 feet. But that's no reason to forget her. By acting with Mother, not against her. The second and third worlds can help each other. By sharing the load, we can bear the burden. By working together, we can replant the garden. Mother Nature can be right bastard at times, but I reckon she's an whole lot cleverer than mankind. He might have more experience, especially in Africa. Well, ask him, or ask yourself. War, poverty, death, rape and violence on our own streets, and he'll look at you blankly and say, mindless. Man-made catastrophe, and it's happening now today. We're right up shit creek, without a paddle, without a boat even. Question, what are full of holes yet hold much water? Answer, people. People need each other, not money, not packaged shit. We need each other. How to be nice to each other, how to talk to each other, how to live together again. I reckon peace means learning to live together again. As soon as I'm born, they made me feel big. But I was privileged without having to be rich. They had a place set aside for me to help to run this society. If I followed the path laid down for me, I could join their club called patriarchy. Because I'm a he, because I'm a he. Because if I didn't get far, cause the ladder was too long, I could be my own boss with a workforce of one. No matter how low I go, there'll always be lower. It's taken for granted that a white man holds power, and I am white, and I'm a man. I don't have to justify what I am. Now it's relatively easy for me to get taken seriously, because I'm a he, because I'm a he, because I'm a he, 'cause I'm not black and I'm not Irish, I'm not a woman. I don't get too much stick just for being what I am, 'cause I am white and I'm a man. I don't often have to justify what I am. Now it's relatively easy for me to get taken seriously, because I'm a he, because I'm a he, because I'm a he. Hassled, I've been hassled, but I don't get hassled on sight. I don't drag going out at night. I don't have to worry, 'cause I'm alright. Singing about it doesn't exclude me, but if I keep quiet, then all people see is compulsory white male superiority complex that's forced on me, because I'm a he, because I'm a he. It's no good feeling guilty, it's what I am, but it's up to me to do what I can by not being what I'm supposed to be, by fighting white male supremacy, by fighting government policy, by fighting bosses of companies, by fighting fascist democracy, but not forgetting to look at me. No, not forgetting to look at me, not forgetting to look at me, because I'm a he. Margaret Thatcher lives in Ronald Reagan's underpants. She's been there for 8 years, cooking up her plan to make the UK like Big Brother USA, where self-made men run everything, and this is what they say. Once upon a time we had an idea, Mr. Big thought it was a damn good idea. Together we made the idea strong, and before too long we could do no wrong. As the idea grew, the number of people who dug our idea grew too. We had a graphic designer, he knew just what to do. He made it plain and simple, red, white and blue. Red is the blood of the butchered Indians, white is Anglo-American apartheid, blue is the G, I'll die for my country mentality that made it all possible. Our history, made from other people's misery. Our history, built on other people's poverty. Our present, the world into which we were born. I say, what's the biggest thing in the world today? It's the myth that men are big, that includes us lads. The myth that we've got a rocket down our pants. When I was 10 years old, I was bought and sold on films, TV, books and comics, pushing myths about Mr. Big Rocket. To be someone in this world, you gotta have a big, big penis. None but else matters, just as long as you got a whopping great wanger. The bigger it is, the bigger you are, and you got to use it. Mr. Big's the bigger it is, the more power it packs. Mr. Big shiny prick, nuclear dick.
How do we measure up to it?
At the age of 12 I thought to myself, it's gotta grow. For the next 7 years I kept a check on things down below. Now look at me on the front of this record, admittedly it's not erect, but even allowed for exaggeration, there's no comparison with this microphone. Sylvester Stallone, electric guitars, sports cars, Errol Flynn, Jimmy Hill's chin, stars and stripes, and rubber pipes, F-111 bombers, and the Contras, post office tower, penis power, muscles and sweat, cigarettes, Ronald Reagan smile, cruise missiles. 14, 15, going on 16, no growth down below, if you know what I mean. I kept it very quiet, I felt a lot embarrassed. I didn't like going in public toilets. At school I skipped showers. The state separatism of an all-boys school, I couldn't relate to girls, there were different rules. I just wanted to kiss girls, put my hand up their dress. They did right not to like it, 'cause women are not fucking objects like with anything else which we keep to ourselves. We end up taking it out on somebody else. It becomes a big thing without being big at all. I felt very inadequate, confused and small. We hide our feelings, our flesh and our blood. Start putting out Mr. Tough to be larger than life, more than just flesh and blood. Like the dickheads at school, at gigs and in pubs, we pretend it doesn't hurt as we beat each other up. In our confusion we want to be more than flesh and blood. Like the good guys on TV, we pretend to have no feelings. It's easier to avoid the emotional scenes, so when it comes to our lives we do not see who we're hurting. Like the good guys on TV, we don't know our own feelings. All I needed was demystification, and it's as simple as this. We're flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. I say, what's the biggest idea in the world today? Us losing sight of our feeling reality, instead putting our faith in democracy. Churchill died in 1965, forgotten country, survived as a lad, I was full of it. It took me 20 years to see through it. The state freedom which keeps us in our place, which keeps us blind to how governments operate, and gives us what to cover our insignificance, and gives Thatcher what she wanted, a vote of thanks. Victory for Britain, oppression with a smile. Everybody's happy, the Union Jack's on the jack again. Over Port Stanley, young growing lads are watching every move to see how they measure up. Growing up confused like I did, 'cause their minds are being messed up. The pretending becomes the reality as we turn out the lights, turn on the power, and fuck the consequences. The reality of rape and violence from the bedrooms to the back streets, and the mass manufactured murder from the boardrooms to the battlefield. The reality of their freedom behind the smiles, the lies, the celebration, the price of trying to forget ourselves, trying to hide but still being racked with pain. Such is the life they would have us lead, to kill or be killed for their idea. Where's the freedom, I ask, in being told what to do and living in constant fear? If we're we're ever gonna change this thing. We've got to try and find a way from within our heads amidst our own confusion. There must be something real, a feeling which is not for sale, which they can't drown. A love for each other and a will to resist the people who try to keep us down, like Northern Ireland, Nicaragua, Grenada, Libya, the free world penis power intervention. It's so similar, where flesh and blood and feeling people fighting for their lives, trying to resist are tortured and killed by democracies and labeled terrorists. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. People kind, just trying to find some sense in all of this mess. Something real, a feeling which will never be for sale. A love for each other, a will to resist those who will build our prison walls. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and feelings, nothing more and nothing less. Flesh and blood and
As subtle as calling our kingdom great, our banners raised on high, baptized with the tide of history that won't lie down and die. Words from our own good book to help us get by. The sacrifice of our daily bread, for hallowed be your domain. Forever and ever the powers use the glory to chain our minds again. Our lads growing into our men. The unicorn stands triumphant, but if we look a little closer, it's chained like a slave. The lion was crowned king of this land that it's only ever seen from behind bars in a cage. This history of the winning side written on every page. It's not as simple as being misled, as us not wanting to see that most of us are born losers in their great society, fed on a diet of how grand things used to be. An empire, 2 world wars and Wembley 66, but a Gordon Bank save couldn't save our ship. We were sinking like a brick till we were washed ashore in the South Atlantic. The unicorn stands triumphant, but if we look a little closer, it's chained like a slave. The lion was crowned king of this land that it's only ever seen from behind bars in a cage. this history of the winning side written on every page. And how can we as a people be so blind to taking so much but to close our minds, to be so afraid of stepping over the line, to bury our heads in the sands of time, to champion those who take our everything and then pretend that none of this is happening, to turn away and stop wondering how things could be any different. Living in the hope of a promise of a land fit for heroes' needs, with the reason that if we got sod all, then at least we're white and free, hiding behind hand-me-down bigotry. A nation of jurors judging others by the color of our book that was written for us on our behalf, 'cause we can't be bothered to look beyond the headlines written verbatim by government crooks. And tell me, when is a lie not a lie when it's told by someone who owns the truth? And when is a joke not a joke when the punchline is the Union jackboot? When is a war not a war when those who started it know it can't be won? And when is a country not a country when it's partitioned and ruled by British guns? England, oh England, I'll never sing your praise for all the blood you shed in long gone days. You still can't put your mind to changing your ways. And while Britain's first and virtually its last remaining colony is fighting with its very life to bring this monster to its knees, we can't see the wood for the trees, who the monster is. And how can we as a people be so blind to taking so much but to close our minds, to be so afraid of stepping over the line, to bury our heads in the sands of time, to champion those who take our everything and then pretend that none of this is happening, to turn away and stop wondering how things could be so different. The unicorn stands triumphant, but if we look a little closer, it's chained like a slave. The lion was crowned king of this land that it's only ever seen from behind bars in a cage. Do we stand against the tide or still pretend we're the master race? Do we stand against the tide or still pretend we're the master race? Birmingham, 1974, there occurred a bloody murder. 21 people killed by bombs, Britain reeled in horror. Within 3 hours, the British state found the first available scapegoats. 5 Irishmen bound for Belfast, about to board the boat. And this is their story, very sad but true, of how 6 men were falsely imprisoned for something they didn't do. And if any should say British justice is the very best in the world, tell them, well, of course it is for the vested interests it serves. The men were taken to Morecambe to be tested for explosives, tests which have since proved ambiguous, but at the time were held as conclusive. One scientist's word was sufficient to condemn the Irishmen. Like vultures, the police moved in to begin interrogations. In the circumstances, how well do you think the men's rights were observed? The cops thought they had the bombers. Do you think they cared?
Have you seen the little piggies crawling in the dirt? And for all the little piggies, life is getting worse. Always having